might not be Broncos practice today because they're traveling to the Bay Area to take on the San Francisco 49ers in their first joint practice. But we have a lot of very interesting news nuggets to take away from the last day of Denver Broncos training camp before they square off with the 49ers. Welcome in Broncos country to the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Moose. I have been issued a challenge. My very first during the season challenge whatsoever. A David versus Goliath battle. Chase Sr., the host of the 49ers Report, said there is no shot in hell. By the end of Saturday, you can beat us in subscribers. I know it. I've been doing this long enough. And they've got 163K. And I said, I'll take 300 loyal Broncos fans over your 10,000 49ers Report fans any day of the week. So if you want free Denver Broncos content and you want to shut Chase Sr. up, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Also, a major shout out to the guys that are already subscribed and doing their jobs. A mile-high salute to you, my friends. I said I would use and give you guys a shout out if you used hashtag Broncos. So Jake, Monkey Man, Ashton, Brent, Frank, Rick, Bo Nix, Promo God, Ginger Ninja, and Aiden. Big mile-high salute to you guys. Thanks for using hashtag Broncos. Now, let's talk on the field, because I'm sure that's exactly why you clicked in to today's video. Let's start with the minor news nuggets. We'll talk about the vet day because this happens in every single, NFL team's training camp. You see veterans that get their vet days so they don't practice. So of the notable ones that didn't practice yesterday, J.K. Dobbins was off, Malcolm Roach was off, and Trent Sherfield was also off. I then think we should go to the Broncos' injuries. Now, this is some good news considering there's only two major ones to talk about. A.T. Perry, wide receiver, was on the PUP list, has been on the PUP list for quite some time. That's not new. Drew Sanders, also not new at the beginning of training camp, injured his foot, and he's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Should be targeting at least somewhere around a week 3 or week 4 comeback, either against the LA Chargers or against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now for the training camp, interesting news. 7-on-7 periods looked sharp on offense. And it wasn't just me that's saying this, but a bunch of different Broncos media members. Ryan Edwards in specific, who basically said that the Broncos offense was clicking during this 7-on-7 period. Bo Nix was firing on all cylinders inside of the red zone. Zipped a pass to Devon Vele on the first play for a touchdown, and then almost had another one to Troy Franklin, though his foot kind of locked out and ended up not being able to stay in bounds. So it wasn't technically a touchdown, but a cool play nonetheless. This is a really, really good sign. Why? Because last year, if you remember, when Bo Nix started off, he was struggling in the red zone. The first few games of the season, he was really having a tough time occupying and controlling this red zone offense for the Broncos. And it's going to be crucial for Bo heading into his second year to be a good red zone quarterback. It's like a golfer on the PGA Tour. Everybody can drive the ball over 300 yards, but can you score when it's 100 yards or less? That's what red zone offense is for quarterbacks and NFL football teams. So once you get inside the red zone, it's got to be shipshape all the time, and it looks like they're firing on all cylinders. Let's head on to our next training camp interesting news. Joe Lombardi, somebody we haven't heard from a bunch, has sounded off on Troy Franklin, who every single episode, every single training camp, there's always something great about Troy Franklin. I've said it once, I'll say it again. This guy is a complete turnaround from last year. So, according to Joe Lombardi, he's had a really standout training camp. Added that he's faster and his route tree is bigger this year. He's working in the slot and even has more flexibility. Now, that's just from your offensive coordinator. I don't know if that matters, sense the sarcasm in that. But here's what he specifically said on the Troy Franklin and Bo Nix connection. They have a really good feel for each other. Experience with the receiver really helps as a quarterback, knowing where they're going to be. That's really paid off. As Troy Franklin's learned the offense, he's been able to play naturally, and that is what Bo is used to. And I couldn't agree more. Troy Franklin has gone from a player that we were like, could this even be a wide receiver 4 or wide receiver 5 option, to now we're talking about him potentially being the wide receiver 2. And he's had the best camp of any Bronco on offense or defense, and it's not close. Find me a guy that has been mentioned more by his coaches, his teammates, and the media. Find me a guy that has had the explosive plays and the complete turnaround in his skill set of his game than Troy Franklin. I think there is no one. And his improvements should be as noted. His breaks have gotten sharper and cleaner. His footwork and route tree are developing. His ball tracking looks better. And his connection with Bo is growing. All of that leads me to believe wide receiver 2 is just beyond the horizon. So I'm going to ask you this because I just said it myself. I thought Troy Franklin had the best training camp so far of any Bronco. But if you have a different opinion other than me, at least let me know in the comment section down below. Now, before we get into our next kind of interesting news takeaway, a quick word from our sponsor, and that is Brunt. Broncos country, I need you to check out this sweet Marin design from Brunt. Look at how stylish and comfortable these boots look. I'm telling you right now, my old work boots, I work out all in the summer in the Dallas heats, and I'm telling you, my old work boots had zero comfort and zero style. And now, thanks to Brunt, I don't have to sacrifice either of those. Brunt built tough boots that feel great from day one. No break-in, no sore feet. Because people out there doing the real work shouldn't have to choose between comfort and durability. Brunt best-selling Marin work boots are not only built for the toughest job sites, they're completely waterproof. Whether it's rain, mud, or standing water, your feet are going to stay completely dry. But they're not just about work boots. They offer a full range of high-performance gear built for tough jobs, from heavy-duty work pants to weather-resistant jackets. Brunt designs durable, reliable workwear to keep you protected and productive in any condition. Brunt was tired of workwear brands out there cutting corners. You work way too hard to be stuck in uncomfortable boots that just don't hold up. So they built something better. Boots that are insanely comfortable and built for any job site. For a limited time, our listeners get $10 off at Brunt when you use code CHAT, C-H-A-T, at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com. Use the code CHAT, and you're good to go. And after you order, they're going to say, hey, where'd you hear about Brunt? Do us a favor. Tell them it was from this show. One more time, that's code CHAT, C-H-A-T. You get $10 off at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com. I'll have all of that ready for you in the comments and description of today's video. So our next training camp news nugget that you need to be aware of. Vance Joseph is all about building consistency right now. I feel like we haven't heard much from the coaches other than Sean Payton because we've been so locked into the process of everything. But Vance Joseph is now talking about building continuity and building consistency with this Denver Broncos defense. Obvious, spoiler alert, the Broncos defense is great, but they've got to be consistently great. And that's what Vance Joseph has been echoing over and over and over again. He said, I think the next step is avoiding the awkward big plays, the awkward series. If you're going to be a top defense in this league, just consistency, building depth, to do that over a long season is important for us. I'd say for every defense, their goal is to always be consistent. And if you're going to be dominant, that's every down, every game, every quarter. And if that doesn't make you want to run through a brick wall, I don't know what does. My defensive coordinator saying that right now, I want to get my ass onto the field and play hard for him. One player to specifically note, Chris Abrams-Draine has had an unbelievable training camp. And I think that is really a testament to Vance Joseph's aggressive style of defense. He wants his D-line, his edge rushers, his linebackers, and his secondary playing aggressive. And that's what you're seeing from Chris Abrams-Draine. A lot of jumping routes and not being afraid to put his body on the line to break up a pass. When you can do that, you've earned yourself not only a spot on this 53-man roster, but some well-deserved playing time as well. And I think the overarching umbrella and feel right now for what the Broncos are doing on defense specifically is there seems to be this renewed energy around the defense. Not to say that there wasn't before, but the goal is clear heading into the season. Be number one from day one and do not let up that lead. Put the foot on the throat of opposing offenses. And I think every player, new and old alike, are coming together and realizing that day one. Now, speaking of a clear goal, my friends, I have a goal that I want to get to, and that is to get as many people to join our preseason week 1 matchup as possible. Broncos versus 49ers, and guess what? We're going live for it. That's right. We've got a kickoff at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, which means we're going to be live 1 hour prior to that at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time. I also just got the word from the bosses. They gave me the green light to give away a Broncos jersey, so make sure you pull up. But they also gave me the creative freedom to allow you to choose your jersey. That's right. So you get to pick. So if you want us to give away an RJ Harvey jersey, type 37. If you want Bo Nix jerseys, type 10. And if you want to give away a Jahdae Barron jersey to one lucky fan who's our top fan of the stream, type 12. And I'm obviously going to go with the jersey that I see the most numbers in the comment section. So you got to get down there and tell me which jersey you want me to give away this Saturday. Our last major news nugget, RJ Harvey flashed, taking RB1 reps. Sound the alarms. RJ Harvey is really good. But I think it's important to kind of dissect just how well he's sliding into that RB1 spot as J.K. Dobbins is off. Remember, it's J.K. Dobbins' RB1 position right now. But the fact that RJ Harvey can move into that position and excel right off the bat is great. So I want to kind of echo some of this stuff that Sean Payton has talked about with this screenshot that I found. The top one for you is before the draft, where he said, when you look at RJ Harvey's running skill set, it was wow, explosive runs, all those things. The bottom one is just from a couple of days ago, where RJ Harvey had a run that was just some kind of special. And all the coaching staff just turned and looked at each other, and they were like, holy shit, this kid can actually play. ESPN then came out with their depth chart, their early depth chart. And I think they kind of got this wrong, especially when it comes to RJ Harvey. They have him listed as the starter. I think that's incorrect. I think it's J.K. Dobbins' position. But remember, the way that Sean Payton runs his offense is that if you have an under center package, it might be J.K. Dobbins. If you have a shotgun package, it might be RJ Harvey. There's no real lead back and then everyone else. It's an amalgamation, a rotation constantly, back and forth between different play packages. So you're going to see RJ Harvey as a lead back at points, and you're also going to see J.K. Dobbins. But for the sake of simplicity, I've put J.K. Dobbins as RB1, RJ Harvey as RB2, and then you could coin flip it. Audric Estime or Jaleel McLaughlin for RB3. At this point, it's just going to be about who's performing better during the preseason, which, by the way, Sean Payton said is everybody's going to at least play, starters alike, at some point, which is awesome to hear, which means we get to see our favorite players. All right, before we get out of here today, I'm going to ask you a question. Very simple question. All you got to do is get down in the comments. Who you got? Who you got winning on Saturday? Type DEN for Denver or type SF for San Francisco. That is going to do it for us on today's episode. A reminder that we will be back a little bit later on this week as well, but we've got to get prepared, all just for our watch party coming up on Saturday. My name is Moose. A reminder to subscribe to the channel if you have not, like the video if you have not, and as always, be cool.